What's up, y'all? I just wanted to do a quick video because for many of y'all that don't know, I take mental health seriously, like for so many different reasons. I could give you 5 right off the bat. Because I lost a friend to suicide, because I went through my own struggle with my own mental health, and I realized how close I came to not even, I won't even say close, because nobody knows how close they are. You know what I mean? So when people play somebody that did suicide, you don't know how close you are. Nobody knows how close they are to doing it. Like, even the most mentally strong person, like I always talk about Robin Williams, like a guy that's always smiling. You think he got everything to be, happy about. Probably right perspective and everything. But it's not about that. Because you could go through something tomorrow, today, that change your whole way of thinking. That changes, that gives you, that takes away almost every reason you feel like you have for living. And I say feels like it takes every reason for you to live. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to say that because at the end of the day, men, it's a different ball game with how we are able to express and show how we feel. And I hear a lot of dudes, I'm getting this phone call. I hear a lot of dudes trying to play that machismo, macho, big guy stuff all the time. And man, listen, it ain't real. It's not real. I've seen some of the hardest workers, some of the most gritty people, some of the most toughest people cry, like really cry, and couldn't control it, couldn't punch it down deep, couldn't do nothing, was just crying. And like at that moment you realize life is bigger than being a man. You know what I mean? Like, really say that statement to yourself so you can really get an understanding of what you're trying to be and what is never going to happen. That you can be bigger than life. That's what you're really trying to do with that machismo, macho stuff that all these guys be talking about. I don't fall for it. Anybody can get in my comments today and start playing me for crying, feeling sad, watching Bambi. I don't care. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, our experiences, if we don't live them, they wasted. And bro, crying over something that's worth crying about is an experience, bro. It's an experience that changes your life, gives you perspective, lets you know that being tough, being strong is a choice. It's a fight. It's an everyday battle. You know what I mean? And I'm just really so tired of people trying to make men think that they gotta keep this tough persona up just so that we can impress people that don't really even care about what's really going on with you. So what I'm saying is, you're trying to be tough. You're trying to be tough to live up to a persona that the people that started the persona don't ask you what's going on in your life. Don't care about the struggle and the constant battle you got to deal with in the morning time, at nighttime, while you at work or you thinking about something. That stuff is real. That stuff is real. And I tell people, the best thing you can do is realize that in those situations where you feeling so low, they're really just moments. They're really just moments. And I mean that figuratively and literally. They're literally just moments. Like, figuratively speaking, because in the big picture, if you fight through that, you will have gained something. And literally, because I don't know how many times I felt like, I just couldn't push it through no more, or felt like I was low or whatever. It's normally probably like 20 minutes, maybe 2 hours max. I don't know how long you feeling that feeling that y'all feel, because I know we all felt it. You lying to yourself if you didn't. And the worst part you can do is lie, because that means you the quickest person to do it, because you can't even accept the reality that you're going through something. Bro, you got to really be honest with yourself. That's the first battle. Because I'm telling you, man, as soon as I was honest with myself about stuff, that's when I really started to break down. And it's not like, it's not even like, what I mean is, not break down, but to really start to examine the damage and to understand what it is. Because you know, like you always hear, like, for anybody that's never been shot, you know what I mean? Like, listen, if you've never been shot, listen, I ain't gonna try to give you no storytelling, but listen, if you ever been shot, sometimes you don't even know you got shot until you look. It can really happen like that. And sometimes, if you, like, you know what I mean, the effects of the shot of the bullet is literally having an effect before you even, like, it's literally affecting you before you even realize it. That's how powerful the brain is. That's how powerful the brain is. Because until we fully grab something, until we fully understand something, we can't even feel it. And sometimes a lot of us are those people that don't want to feel nothing no more. They're tired of, like, their life hasn't given them enough happiness, enough smiles, enough joy to want to feel anymore. And I understand that. Like, I really do. But you gotta, but listen, I'm not trying to change nobody's thinking. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do. What I'm saying is, when you start connecting with that pain and connecting with it in a positive way, you start to really understand how you can use it going forward. Whether it's just in your life, or in the lives of other people around you. You know what I mean? For me, you know, I'm 29. I didn't really live a long life to sit here and give nobody that's older than me, like, you know what I mean, the type of perspective that I don't know about, you know what I'm saying? So my real perspective is only based on my experiences and where I have come from and got to this far. That's it. So when I say you got to really find yourself inside the pain, like, those two things are separate. And sometimes we start to conform and normalize feeling sad. And it's not for us to do that. Like, happiness, it's over. You know what I mean? And nobody really says it, like, you know, I'm trying to really explain it in the best way I can. Happiness is one of those things where when you get it, you enjoy it. But misery isn't like that. But happiness and misery can last just as long. And the thing about it, happiness can last just as long as misery, but feel 10 times shorter. Like, the very misery you're going through could be just as long as the happiness that you experience, and it will never feel as long as the misery. Never feel as long as the misery. And that very reason is why a lot of people have to really adjust just living off of the misery and the pain and the bad things that happen to them. You gotta treat everything like, you gotta just live in the moment. You just really gotta live in the moment. And for me, I always use sports because that's where I connect. That's where it connected to me for. Like, life and sports connected to me because I really love sports and I connected to it in every way. Like, I really loved it. So everything surrounded, like, not everything, but mostly everything surrounded around that. You know what I mean? And then as I got older, you know, it was my kids. But, you know, I can give you analogies for both, but a lot of people don't got kids. Maybe a lot of people don't connect with sports. So I give you both. So let's say you playing a game, you turn the ball over in the first quarter. If you in the fourth quarter, thinking about the 3 turnovers you had in the first quarter, you're doing yourself a disservice. You know what I mean? It does not serve you any purpose at all. Even to remind yourself that you had them doesn't help you. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to be like, oh, I had 3 turnovers, so because I've reminded myself I'm not going to have none. No, because you can have 5 more just because. You know what I mean? Just because. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, it's bigger than just looking at the part where you had the 5 turnovers. It's bigger than that. Like, you got to really start looking at, like, why did I have 5 turnovers? Like, did I really think I was going to dribble past Gary Payton? Like, did I really think I was going to get, like, did I really think I was going to get in the dribbling battle with Kawhi Leonard? Like, did I really think I was going to out-dribble Kyrie Irving? Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you really got to look at yourself and be like, all right, that's why this happened. You know what I mean? A lot of times people just look at the misery and be like, oh, this is so sad. Like, yeah, 4 turnovers, 10 turnovers. Yeah, that's sad. What's worse is not knowing why you had them and then having another game like that in the near future. You know what I mean? That's when I started realizing, like basketball started making sense to me like that. Like, I was just like, bro, it don't make no sense to be thinking about this now. And and if I don't figure out why I had it, I might could have it again. Like, it's not like one of them things where it's just like, oh, this is just a situation where, you know, bad things happen. No, this is something that I could work on in any way, form, or fashion. Whether I'm a good ball handler, whether I'm, like, you know what I mean, whether I'm better in every aspect that I mentioned. At the end of the day, evaluate what you can control in every situation. Take your mind out of the misery and evaluate what you can control, because God forgives us all. God forgives us all. And the hardest problem is forgiving yourself for what you did and being able to adjust yourself to knowing what you did and not doing it again in every way of life. You know what I mean? Because the real failure is a person that never learned and continuously does it. Failure isn't trying and failing. Failure is consistently doing the same thing that got you failure. That's it. That's failure. People got a warped view of it. And honestly, I view success and a lot of other things different than a lot of people. A lot of things different than a lot of people. Like, my value for leadership starts in the house, in the home. You have to be a leader at home. If you're not, you ain't gonna be ready to be anything. And that means whether you're a big brother, big sister, a mom, the dad, you know what I mean? Whatever role you have to be the best at it. It makes everybody else around you better. And it puts the pressure on everybody else to do it. And when you ain't pointing the finger back at everybody else, it makes them willingly want to do it. You know what I mean? That connection between 2 people, 3, 4 people, a team is important. Because a team ain't good just because 4 or 5 players do what they got to do. You know what I mean? A team ain't successful long term because 4 or 5 players do what they got to do. A team is successful because everybody buys into it. Even those players that's on the bench and you like, nah, he ain't doing nothing. He ain't did nothing. He is. He does. His very role on that bench is essential because he is the backup plan. And anybody that has a plan knows how good a backup plan has to be. Has to be. Not kinda need to be. No, has to be. It has to be a good plan. If your backup plan is trash, then what in the world are you expecting out of anything that does not work in your first plan? You know what I mean? You gotta have a backup plan. And you got a plan for life to not work and to always have a wrinkle in it for you to have to make an adjustment. You know what I mean? You can't expect to be so good at something that you don't have to be a thinker. You know what I mean? Like, thinking with any skill or ability is essential. So you got to use that with your life. You got to use that with your weaknesses and understanding what you're good at and what you're not. How to start, the situation that you put in doesn't define how good you're going to be going forward. You could be like, and people be quick to do that. You could be one of those people who do something and you fail miserably, and every time a situation come up, they're like, nope, no, we're not gonna ask you to do that. But if you one of those type of people that situations like that bring the best out of you or make you hungrier, then that statement won't never be something you worried about. And for me, I feel like I'm like that. Like I used to think I was a perfectionist, but I am just a betterist. I believe that I can be better, period. Like, I don't gotta be perfect. I can be better. Anybody that tell me I can't be better, I mean, all right. Like, you tell me I can't be perfect, we ain't gonna debate much. But you tell me I can't be better, I can give you every way of why I can be. Like, you be like, yeah, but bro, you can't be perfect. But I can be better, though. You know what I mean? And with that very mentality, I really don't go into situations feeling like it can't happen. I feel like it might not happen that day, but can't happen? No, never. Never. Impossible means nothing because nothing is impossible. Like, it just really isn't. Depending on what you really trying to go after. You know what I mean? Everything got limits to it, so I'm not saying it like that. But this was really to just be a picker-upper for people that really giving themselves a lot of doubt that they don't need. Push that away.